Welcome to Oversteer TV. Today we have guest, Mr. Shane. First you're going to build your car, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
He is building his
Volkswagen R32.
Volkswagen.
Mark IV.
See, I don't know Volkswagens, so.
That's fine. Tell you everything you need to know. Das Power.
Isn't there a slogan, Das
Auto.
Auto? Anyway, so first things first, what was your first car? That's always a question you got to start off with. Where did you start?
1999 Chevy S10 ZR2.
What is the ZR2? Is that?
That's the off-road package, and I have the V6, not the 4-cylinder. 2-inch, comes stock with the 2-inch lift off-road tires. It also has like I said, the V6, and it has some different guards around the fender wells. Other than that, it's the same. Now,
are you like the truck kind of guy, like lifted, or are you like low and fast, butt scraping the ground kind of guy?
I would say, I like to have a truck, but at the end of the day, it's not where I'm going to drive every day. It's probably going to be
true.
I would say a sleeper, but not in the sleeper in the sense that, it's rusty and old, and a Lambo pulls up next to me and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to dust this kid." But something modest and something that looks like it's stock until you press your foot down on the gas,
and then the whole back end gets squirrely, and you're like, yeah. I follow the same kind of motto. I don't like flashy cars. Like if it's like the whole Fast and Furious thing, I'm not a fan of that. I want something that I know is fast, but to your normal pedestrian, if they're walking, they see it, they're like, oh, it's blah, 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 a sports car. Mm-hmm. It's not like something that they're like, is that safe for the street? Is that a race car? What is going on? But yeah, I prefer kind of not toned down mellow cars, but not in your face.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's got to be a nice touch.
Yeah. So what do you daily right now?
Daily?
Or what do you drive?
Daily a Ford F-150, actually. you think I'm not a car guy, but my car was stolen, and crashed.
Yeah, that tends to put a damper on things.
It does put a damper on things.
But now it's the opportunity for something.
A GTI?
A GTI? Okay, so explain to me this. The Volkswagen tier levels, because I know there's like a really fast one, and then there's like things like the Rabbit, which I think aren't as fast, right?
Yeah. So you're saying like the performance cars, sedans, and like.
Yeah, because I see like GTI, and I think I've seen an R every now and then.
Yeah, the Rs. I guess you would consider it. Technically, it's considered a sports car. The insurance, because the R has a little over 300 horsepower. I want to say stock now this year. It's all-wheel drive, but mainly. Volkswagen's more like the name in German, people's car. It's more not something that somebody's going to drive to, lay down rubber on the road. That's going to be Audi S-Class, which is the same group, but,
true.
Same basic engine design.
They're they always look good to me, but they all look the same.
Beautiful, yes.
Like, I can't tell them apart.
Oh. They're so great.
I
like the way they look better than Mercedes and BMW.
Oh, Mercedes, they're like rolling bubbles to me almost. They look really just fat and bulbous. But Audi, like, I know they're about the same, weight wise, but it looks cleaner, it looks sleeker. Mm-hmm. But they all look like the same. Like just like they grew a little bit for each model.
I'm just not a fan of the way they look at all. And the older BMWs, I don't mind, but the new stuff that they're coming out with, not a fan of the body shape, unless it's like the lower M's, like the M2 or the M3.
M2, that's going to be awesome. The M3, I think, is more like Taylor's going to disagree with me. I think it's like a muscle car in that it has so much power and so much torque. Like it's moved away from like the light sports car more towards like the GT cruiser. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's so much everything.
Yeah, I could understand that.
But
too much power, you know. You don't even have to take it off the wheel control. It's just gonna, you know, barely idle, just spins the tires.
yeah, and you're like, why? I thought this was supposed to be BMW's sports car. Their, I don't know, track. Well, it's not their track day thing.
Yeah.
They came out with one of those. I think I forgot what it was called. They're making like low mounted. I want to say 90, but it's a low mount of them. But I'm just like, why buy that when you can get like a Porsche GT3 RS?
Understandable.
They're so much better cars. Like, and the M4, they call it like, there's one, it might not be the M4, but it's one of those cars, they call it a Grand Coupe, and it has 4 doors. And I'm like, what? Who came up with that?
4-door and it's fast?
I mean, it's...
What do you mean?
It's quick. Well, quicker. It is quick. All their cars are quick. A lot quicker than mine.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, I think, you know, BMW, like they're kind of moving away from what they used to be.
I think they're moving away from something that a car enthusiast or something that somebody works on a car is going to buy.
Yeah, because
if you can't check the oil by yourself, you know.
If it's a digital readout on your dash.
And if you have to project the sound of the engine through the sound system.
Don't even get me started on that. What? BMW, why? Just like, even if it's quiet, let it be quiet. That's okay. You don't have to like pipe in engine noise and stuff like that. This is weird.
Yeah, not a fan.
But, you know, I guess their target market, they want something that can be quiet.
Yeah.
At the same time, be fast, even though they will probably never go over 75 miles an hour. And, well, this is in the U.S. I imagine in, like, Germany, on the Autobahn, you know, they're, like, trying to peg it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But here, you know, top speed is, like, I think the fastest highway is, like...
I think 80. I think 80 is the top in, like, Texas or something like that.
It has to be Texas.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, they're just not going to use that much power. So, and we are also we're not great drivers.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are scared to go over 75 miles an hour.
That's true. And some people's car can't even make it that high.
No, like the Tercel I have, that's like maybe 90 horsepower, maybe. That gets sketchy over like 60.
Oh yeah. I know whenever I took the S10 out for the first spin on the highway, it did not like hitting 70 at all. It disagreed with that, so I had to stay in the slow lane and keep it at 60. It actually ended up overheating, and my water pump went out, and I ended up having to replace that, but it was going to happen. It's an S10, so water pumps are...
Is that like a big problem with them?
Yeah, really trucks, just in general, water pumps.
And BMW with their plastic water pumps that like to explode.
Oh yeah, they do have plastic water pumps, don't they?
Like, once again, this is another why moment. Taylor is going to hate me for this. I'm laying into him today. But moving on. So you're a sleeper kind of guy. First car was an S10 or I guess truck.
Yep.
Really? So, and you daily in F-150 right now?
Yes.
Are you looking to buy any other car right now, or?
Looking to buy a GTI.
What year? I know they made like a crap ton of them.
Price range, probably Mark 6, which is, I want to say 08 to 2012.
That's not bad. But aren't those front wheel drive ones, or are they all wheel drive?
They didn't, I don't think they make the all-wheel drive back that late. I think it's just this year that they started doing that.
Oh, okay.
It's still, it's still the Quattro.
Oh, yeah.
It's the familiar Quattro from the group, but, it's a hatchback, so it's meant to be.
Oh, so it's like the hot hatch.
Yeah, it's the hot hatch. It's front-wheel drive, unless, you're me. I really want the all-wheel drive, but I'm not willing to pay what, 7-8 grand more.
Yeah.
7-8 grand more just
at
to
that
go
point,
up.
I'm not sure if it's worth it.
No, thank you.
And like front wheel drive cars they're so quick now. Like the I'm not sure if you've ever ridden in one, but a Fiesta ST or a Focus ST.
No, I was actually looking at getting a Focus ST.
I wouldn't count them out. Those things are really quick.
The only thing that keeps me from getting them is the manual transmission that Ford puts out. I'm not familiar with the transmission that's in the ST. So that's the only bad thing. I'll let you persuade me if you have an opinion.
I like it. I drove a coworker's ST. It was a Fiesta ST, and he has the Recaro seats and everything.
Sure.
And those seats, those seats were amazing.
Oh, dude, you ever been in the GTI? The GTI seats, stock, they hug you. They're so inviting to make you want to go fast.
Aren't they like plaid too?
They're like a grayish black plaid.
That is so cool.
And they have that race seat feel already, so it's not like it goes along with that sleeper.
Yeah.
You don't look in the car and be like, oh, Recaro, like this guy's gets on it.
You probably don't want like a race seat for your daily drive. Like,
Yeah.
I know I don't like it because they hug you and they're like, you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I'm driving down the highway. Oh, let me shift positions.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
You can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would actually prefer if I was going to buy a Fiesta ST, I'd probably get the Recaros and just live with it. But I'd also want to autocross the car. Those things are quick. Like they are really quick. In fact, when I was riding with my coworker, we were going along, and I was like, "So how's this thing handle?" And he's like, "Oh, it handles."
Let's
and he
find
like,
out.
that's exactly what he did. He like threw it into a right and or it was a left-hand turn, and traction control, like it kicked in. It felt like the thing was about to like flip over, but it stuck, and it kept going. And if you like floor it, it will torque steer and it will spin the tires. It is so weird. But
so definitely an advocate for the ST.
yes,
Definitely, yeah.
yes, I am.
I could see it.
love
I like them. I mean, they look good. The only thing that I'm skeptical about, like I said, is that transmission.
Yeah, I think the turbos actually were, or the one that my coworker has, he was having some issues with the turbos.
I'm not worried about the turbo. I'm throwing a bigger one in it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is the motto. When something breaks, you're like, might as well upgrade it.
Exactly. Definitely.
I think some people though
it's like if you're gonna go through the trouble of ripping your clutch, first time ever driving, and that clutch. By the time you get the next one, you're gonna be a better driver. So throw a lighter one in. Right.
Upgrade.
Yes.
Eventually, you'll pretty much have a race car.
Yeah.
But I really like the Fiesta STs. I have not driven the Volkswagen though. I've heard it's really good. Probably just as fast, if not faster, than the Fiesta ST. Although I think the Fiesta it weighs less. But
Fiesta ST is actually what they use in the WRC in the Rallycross this year.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, did you see Ken Block's Gymkhana 8, I believe it was?
Actually, had somebody ask me about that just before I came to this because he's a big Ken Block fan, and actually didn't really follow Hoonigan too much before, like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I'm not a huge Hoonigan fan. I'm a big fan of Ken from the Block. And his and his Gymkhana videos, like they're so outrageous and in your face.
I've seen one, the Hoonicorn. That's the only one I've seen.
That was a good one.
It's
was a good one.
incredible. I saw it and I was like, wow, that is amazing.
That like the whole concept of an all-wheel drive. It wasn't turbo. It was V8 because it had the throttle body sticking out of the hood. But all-wheel drive, race car, like people will usually look at that chassis and be like, you need to preserve it. This is a collector's item. And he's like, no, we're about to make this thing a beast. Like that's so awesome to me.
If it fails, buy another one later.
He can do that. So
Exactly.
Didn't he actually get his start from? He sold like DC shoes or something like that.
Like I
That's where he
said,
does money.
I'm new to this,
Fair.
so I have
Fair.
no idea.
Well, Kenneth from the block, he is hilarious. I love what he does with cars and everything. He actually he like drifts in circles around an airplane while it's moving forward slowly, but it's still moving forward in this new Gimcon video. It's pretty cool. But they also have the new Ford GT. It made an appearance in the video. It wasn't like they were driving it. It was just like sitting there, but it was there. The new Focus RS, it was there too. The
Those are
weird thing
expensive,
was they are really expensive.
For what you're getting, not for what you're getting, for what extra you're getting, it's very expensive.
Yeah, it's like you're paying so much more money for
An extra differential.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, but I mean, it's in my mind, you could get like just staying in the same company, a Mustang like GT350. Those things are amazing. Well, maybe not GT350, but you can get a lot of car for what you're actually paying.
Exactly.
And in the end, it's like you still have a Focus. So I'm not sure if that's preferable when you're spending that much money.
Honestly, I think it's the person, because if I have my dream car, if you say, like my dad, for example, my dad just went out and bought a Nissan Juke, brand new Nissan Juke, and I was like, Dad, you already have, what does he have? I want to say it's 2014, 2015 C71. It's white, and he's done the most modest upgrades I feel possible to make it look good without being jacked up.
Yeah.
Looks really good. And then you go out and buy a Juke. Like, what? Unless, which I found today, me and Taylor actually found this today, unless it is Nismo and has the GTR engine in it.
That's still insane.
Which I will put and say that it was 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds with that engine in it. Regardless, why are you going to get a Nissan Juke?
Even if you add in the GTR engine,
it still looks like a bullfrog.
It does.
It still looks like a bullfrog at the end of the day.
It's really a hate it or love it kind of car.
Yes,
but what we're going to do now, we're going to let you finish building your car, and we're going to have a race.
Front tire. Well, we're front wheel drive, so gotta make that
and you are
front tire width.
442 horsepower. Like, I feel like that's a lot of and it doesn't even look like much. You look at it and you're like, regular Volkswagen.
Yep.
Is that like something you would strive for in a car you would build?
Honestly, I just build what I like. I just don't think it's worth buying something that's I don't want to buy my power. I want to build my power.
I love it. Built, not bought.
Yes, exactly.
Like
it would be very, very easy to save, up all the money that I would ever build on a car and go buy a Ferrari, or, I could build, how much does a Ferrari cost?
A lot. 458 or 488, it's like 300 grand or something.
I could.
It's ridiculous.
I could build 7, 8 cars, dream cars, and do whatever I want to them.
That's so true.
And, I don't learn very much from pulling out my checkbook and signing that.
Yeah.
Whereas, if I, do a front wheel drive, convert it to all wheel drive, I do a diesel, I do rear wheel drive, I'm learning so much with that. And at the end of the day, I think that's better than pulling out my checkbook.
I wholeheartedly agree. Because, like anybody can just like whip out some money and be like, what's the fastest car in this dealership? I want it right now. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do something cool and you're going to actually like build your own car, think about what parts go into it, make them all work together well. Mm-hmm. That's something amazing.
Yeah, you're not getting that that ergonomics, I guess you could say, with, you know, buying a Ferrari and hauling around the kids.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wait, there's no radio in here. We can't listen to music because weight reduction.
Strip everything out. Everything. They'd be like, Dad, why is your car so bumpy? The ride is so rough. It's so loud. Like, kids, something called race car. I know you guys don't understand yet, but we will get you there.
Yes.
I think that would be hilarious. So like, if you were actually a dad and your daily driver was like some stripped out race car, you know, you have like harnesses and everything. Like, your kids get so used to strapping on harnesses, they get into like their friend's car, and they're like, where
What do you mean your car doesn't have a roll cage? I don't feel safe.
It's like, so you don't wear helmets every time you drive it? No. Ooh, are you going for that Aero though?
Oh no, why would I put Aero on a front wheel drive?
I mean, well, I wouldn't do it. You could convert it.
If it was all-wheel drive.
Can you convert it to all-wheel drive?
It is all-wheel drive.
Is it all-wheel drive?
It is.
It's all-wheel drive.
Oh, it's all-wheel drive.
Aspiration conversion?
Twin turbos though. Is that a thing in the Volkswagen
turbo?
community? Do people like twin turbo things?
Twin turbo?
Yeah.
I've seen many forums where people twin turbo things.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome actually.
Wouldn't one? That seems really inconvenient to do.
What about the VR6?
You're right. You're right.
You know, 4-cylinder. You know,
Two turbos.
4 turbos, one for each one for each outlet.
You just make all the boost. That'd be interesting. I think if I had like Ferrari money, I would build a car with just like some random 4-cylinder and 4 turbos, just because I can. Just it would weird people out, and I'd be like,
I think one build that I would do would be like a Frankenstein build, and I would take the best parts of all cars and combine them in one car.
that would be amazing.
Yeah. I know you might not be a fan of it, but VTEC, oh, dude, that practicality. You know, you could just be humming along, and then you have that, what's it called? The bypass and straight pipe the car for
Oh God.
for the fuel economy. You're just driving down the road, a measly, 2,500 RPMs, and then this guy in his Mustang GT pulls up next to you. Hey, I got my dad's money right here. You want to race?
Dang.
So next thing you know, I flip this little switch, and now I got some wastegate choo-choo action.
And he's like,
And then he's like, oh, I can't even tell. This car looks like a piece of crap compared to what I have. And then I stomp on the pedal, and then you hear, and then
then
that's
you're
the
gone.
last thing he knows about.
You're pretty much gone.
Yeah,
the
then I'm
other
down the
guy, he's
street.
sitting there like, what is going on?
He's
Can
like,
I
what
buy
just
that?
happened?
Oh. So, I mean, I think there is something to be said about, like, if I had enough money, I would pay a shop to do certain things that I wouldn't care to do.
Yeah, that, and at the end of the day, you have a life doing something else. So you're not going to be able to go out there and machine your own parts necessarily.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you don't. There's some things that are better farmed out to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very, very true.
you don't upgrade the transmission too?
Just a sport transmission, keeping
I mean-
a practical 500 horsepower.
A practical, said no one ever. If you're gonna go big, you go big.
Dude, I'm a big fan of the carbon fiber things nowadays. Koenigsegg now has its carbon fiber rims.
Those things that's wizardry
Yeah, it is.
to me.
I watched them make it, and part of me wants to think, like, how has nobody thought about this yet? Which, I guess they have, and they've been trying, but
Yeah.
they're the first to actually complete it. But the idea of reducing that rotational weight, that's the best way to go.
And it's like, they're such a small company too. Well, I mean, I guess they're growing now, but it's,
Oh yeah, they started in was it 2012? I think is when 2010.
I think it was a little bit earlier before that, but they weren't well known.
Yeah.
I think they probably made like 10 cars a year,
Yeah.
if that. Well, actually, they might still be making like 25 a year.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure it's like special order kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you order like Rolls Royce, like you order what you want
and you sit there and wait for like a year, but
as they build. Oh, almost forgot to do something with the suspension.
I mean, like those guys are craftsmen. What they do is insane, especially like with the new Regera. It doesn't have a transmission. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who thinks about that? But Christian, the owner, he looks like some mad scientist though. Like he legitimately looks like a mad scientist. And with that, let me see that controller.
Sure.
I forgot I can't control with this one. But I'm going to. So you're S. Oh, okay. I have like a crap ton of 240s on here, so I definitely have a 240 that is that class. All right. I have like 40 240s.
Why 240 SX? Why?
Cause that's my car, man. That's what I drive. I just.
No, I'm saying like before, you know, like going into it. What made you buy the 240?
Oh, I didn't. Well, my dad bought new off the lot, and that's the car that got me into cars.
Okay, so
yeah,
I got you now.
Like we fixed that one up, and that's when I was like, this is actually kind of cool. I think it'd be guest. That's why I was like, let's see what else you can do here, and then all of a sudden, like I looked it up, and a whole new world. But let's see.
Am I able to select the car I just created?
Oh yeah, you should. Yeah, try it now. And then go to garage. There you go.
Beauty. I didn't even have to change the color. They know.
Let's see,
Ooh,
S class.
That M1. I saw the M1 there are two M1s of the orange color, just like that were at the Greenville Auto Show.
That was a great show.
Yeah,
I loved it. I absolutely like. At first, I didn't know how big it was going to be, but then we pulled up, we started walking, we're like,
my mouth started watering.
yeah, like there's a crap ton of cars.
Whenever I first got there, you know, the E30 is sitting right there, and you got a bunch of M series of all kinds of other stuff, and then
That's just like
there was an R8. I saw the Audi, and I was like, oh.
R8s. They're like the classy supercar, I think. If there's one I could get right now, it'd probably be an R8. I think this 240 this has 702 horsepower. Let's tone it down a little bit. Oh, this is the car I beat Taylor with. Never forget.
Dino.
They had one of those. I think they had a couple of those at the show.
There's
I
one that
love
comes
those.
to Autocross,
Regularly?
to Datsun. I'm not sure. I'm not
Let's say we're gonna do.
not as informed with Datsun, but you know, I know enough to know it was a Datsun.
Yeah. So you can select your difficulty if you want to change anything, because I think it comes like everything on.
Oh, perfect.
I feel you.
Oh, where are we racing, by the way? Circuit.
Circuit.
Catalunya.
I like it. It's hard to like really screw up, because you know, like on like the Nürburgring or whatever, it's so bumpy.
Yeah.
And you like hit a wall, and all of a sudden like you're flipped over, and it's just a bad time. But we're gonna do something clean right now. Gonna go to Spain.
I'm seeing blue. I should be telling
They're like, wait.
figuring out really quickly.
Oh god, this is the one that's geared terribly. Oh god.
This.
Oh wait, is it braking and stuff for you?
I don't know. I decided to brake on my own. I didn't want to, you know, find out.
Just be like, are you doing it for? Oh god, yeah. This is the car that's geared like absolutely terribly. I think I geared it for like a really short track, and I top out at just over 100 miles an hour. Oh, how did I spin that?
Oh God. Oh.
See,
I almost lost it.
look, like first gear is tops out at 41 miles an hour, and then each gear is like 10 miles an hour after that. And
Goodness.
sixth gear is, yep.
My first gear's pretty short.
I mean, you have a crap ton of power. So.
And you know what I can do? I can throw the dog in the back and the fishing poles, and
I mean,
we can go to the lake.
I think we've had like we've actually had 4 people in the 240 before. It's not comfortable in the back seat.
No, I bet not.
Like every time we would go over a bump, they would kind of scream because their head would hit the back glass.
Yes, that would be uncomfortable. Are you familiar with the YouTube channel Mighty Car Mods?
Oh, yes, I love them.
Dude, I watch them all the time. They share my philosophy on a lot of cars and different things and how they do their things, and like,
Yeah.
buying power and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they've really come a long way. Like it used to
they
be
have.
like how to turbo a car, and now they were doing
No, like
something
even before that, like, how to use nightshade and tint your front headlights.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
and now they're
it's
doing
crazy.
like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
They've been like to what's it called?
Now they do their dream cars. They, Moog had his Impreza with, or no, what was it? It was it was an Outback. It was
some Subaru.
it had a Tribeca engine in it.
Oh yeah,
but it was an
had the flat
Outback.
6.
That's what it was, or a Legacy, one of the two. I can't remember.
That car looks proper.
It
too.
was very, very fast. They made it into a 10-second car, and then they did the classic Mini with
That one was really cool. That was supercharger.
Yeah, and the thing I like about it is, the superchargers in the S series were not too great. So, the guy in Britain,
Yeah.
he, repurposed them and just took off, all the parts that weren't needed for the classics and sold them out for the classics, because the weight reduction is, it meets the speed that you would want in that small car.
That's something I wouldn't think of doing, taking
The new parts.
Yeah, and just adapting it to the old motor.
Yeah, it was definitely smart and a good way to make money, because if you're a car enthusiast and you like a Mini Cooper, the first thing you're going to do is throw a bigger supercharger on it.
Yeah, that's true.
And where are you going to toss the other one? Well, nobody wants a stock supercharger unless they have a regular Mini Cooper, and even then,
Why would
it
you
comes
go
back to the
stock?
thing of, why are you going to buy something stock?
Yeah, like why not just upgrade it right then?
Exactly.
But yeah, like I think it's really cool that there's like that one dude in like Britain or wherever it was who does it. Like nobody else in the world even has considered it really.
Yeah, because the reality is there's a small market for people that do that.
Yeah.
But I'm
There's-
sure he probably does take up a good portion, because those old Minis, I think that those were, they were Britain cars, right?
Yeah, those were British cars. They sold them everywhere, but they were British through and through.
They wrecked in the rally for like 50
Oh, yeah,
years, like
they
50
did.
years or something like that.
It was really good, which is, for me, it's not a car I would look at and be like, you would be good as a race car.
Yes, I feel the same way, but then, I didn't really start thinking about him until my dad went and looked at him. It was
Oh,
actually
really?
the first car I learned how to do, use the manual transmission on, was a Mini Cooper.
Really?
Yes, and I liked it. It seemed, now looking back now, it seemed like the clutch was like really long. It seemed like I was practically kneeing the steering column
Yeah.
to get it in and out. But you just make a modification there. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's right up there with the German engineering, so might as well learn on something great,
Well, German engineering is good when it works, but when it breaks,
It's expensive.
it's very expensive. Like going back to the BMW thing, they actually had I think it might have been the V8 M3s, like a couple years before, maybe like, I don't know, I can't remember the chassis to save my life, but the rod bearings in them, they tended to go bad, and that's pretty much a whole new engine right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not I wouldn't say it's a really common problem, but the fact that that's actually a concern in an otherwise stock factory engine, you know,
Yeah.
that's, for me, I'm just sitting there like, really? You're not even gonna let me like throw power at it before it breaks? But
They're like, no, we sucked it all up before, so you couldn't do anything.
we put it right on the limit. But other than that, I think that is a fantastic engine. When they work, they sound fantastic and they make amazing power. I think you may be about to win this one.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, if I had clutch buttons and maybe actually controlled the brakes, this could be different. Because I might be finishing my first lap if that was the case.
well, I also top out at just under 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
So, like down the straight, it's just bouncing out the rev limiter. It seems like I'm in third gear, but I'm really in sixth.
But I see the idea. Let me win the first one, and then, you know, get to your other 240, and then it's going to be a different story.
I mean, it may or may not be a different story. 240s, they're either like drift or grip. This one's like grip, but it's geared wrong, so wrong. But yeah, I think I have like 20 or something 240s on this game for whatever reason.
And the 240 is rear-wheel drive?
Oh yeah, it's gotta be. Pure, man. That and it's a sporty car, but it's not very fast.
What's the difference between, what's the models, the lower model than that?
Oh, there was
200 something.
the 200 SX. That was front wheel drive. They sold the 240's 200 SX in Europe, but they also had a 200 in the US. That was front wheel drive. Not a very great car, to be honest. But it's in the lineup, I guess. Would I buy one? No.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is there. And they also had they actually called the 240 like a crap ton of different names for different countries. Like it was 240 in America, 200 in Europe, 180 in Japan, and they sold the 180 all the way up until like.
Oh yeah, I do. I know the 180.
Yeah, like Nissan actually did really weird things. Like that's something I don't understand with car companies. Why do you change the models throughout different countries? Like why not just keep them the same?
I think that's not actually the engineer's idea. I think that's more, you know, whenever you're in a company, you're gonna have a marketing side, and I think it's that marketing side.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because, you know, with Volkswagen, you know, the way that they, I guess, like to portray their diesels is clean, you know, clean diesel.
Yeah.
Which in reality, you know, the diesel that everybody else uses, one's not dirtier than the other.
Yeah, but they're supposedly the clean.
Yes, which,
cleanest.
you know, in reality, stock gasoline versus diesel's going to put out a cleaner emissions.
Yeah, isn't like they put out cleaner. It's like, but it's like a different type of emissions. That's the issue when it comes to. Wow, this car is actually a lot faster. I was not prepared for that. I was actually like, I was going through the gears and I was like, I'm about to top out really quickly here. Oh God, you got me on power.
Yeah, you're right.
You got me on power. I was like, why am I not catching up to him? But then I forgot. Yeah, this car this one is built for grip, but it doesn't have a lot of power.
This is my favorite track. I love it.
It looks great. I love it. It's very picturesque, I think.
Yeah, I like the feel that you get as you go down that hill.
Oh yeah.
I can just.
It makes me want to like find this road and
It makes me
drive
feel like I'm actually there, because I can feel, you know, when you get to that bottom, all that, the pull.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, you know, like gravity is like with you. I think Turn 10 did a really good job with this game.
Wow, I can't see.
Yep, tunnels. I wish they had headlights in this game though. That would be
That'd be a good idea.
I mean, at least for the tunnel. Like, dang, this could be the only track it's for.
Or they could, not put them in, but put lights in the tunnel.
Yeah, just illuminate the tunnel and we'll be good. Oh god, downshifted and squirrely.
Oh,
got him.
Hitting the wall.
Oh god. Oh wait. See. In my mind, I was winning.
You got cocky when you passed me.
As soon as I passed you, I put it flat. It was just full power, and all of a sudden the back end stepped out, and it was just terrible timing. But yeah, this is just a great road. It really makes me want to drive. It makes me miss my car too.
It makes me miss a car. My girlfriend always tries to tell me, because I complain all the time, like, I don't have a car that's mine. She's like, that's not true. You have, this car, might not be yours, but you have a car to drive every day. I'm like,
yeah.
It's not the same.
That's not what I mean.
I was like, before, I could pull out this piece of paper that I kept filed away called a title, and my name was on it.
True.
And that gave me, the opportunity to go out and attach whatever I wanted to that car. If I wanted a bigger turbo or a chip put in it, I could do it. I don't have to ask permission.
I mean, you could do it to her car.
Yeah, you're right. I really could. I could chip it, but then.
Or if she comes home one day and you're in the driveway and her car is in pieces and she's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Race car."
The hard reason for me to like a truck is the idea of what the acceptable things to do to it, which are lower it to the ground or jack it up and put big rims on it. Because whenever it comes to a car, I want something modest.
Yeah.
But having a modest truck is, not really.
It's like a stock truck is a modest truck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like really weird because, especially around here and in Clemson and in the country, like if you lowered a truck, people would be pissed at you. You really couldn't do just what you want to it and not have, like every gas station or whatever, somebody comes to you like, "Why'd you lower your truck, man?" Like,
I just don't think it just doesn't look good. Going halfway doesn't look as good as going halfway on a car.
yeah.
Because you could airbag a car, or you could, drop it 1 inch, and that's going to be completely different in a truck. Dropping it 1 inch, it's just going to look like, are your springs, is your suspension broken?
It's like, oh, my bad. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it looks like something isn't right with the vehicle. But then, you get on like the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and you get the guys that are like basically building like monster trucks. I'm like, do you take that on the highway or anything? Like, that's not practical. But I don't know. Their truck, they can do what they want to.
That's true. At the end of the day, the car's only as cool as you think it is.
That's so. Oh my God, this car is like I go to like accelerate, and just the back end steps out, and then oh man, it's happening again, and I'm in a wall.
This just makes me want a GTI so much more because of how nice it is. I'm just going to note that I might need a little bit better tires because I have more power than the tires can handle.
Yeah. When I saw 400, I was like, ah. But I think this car actually, 2.4 drive, might have like something like 375 or something like that. So it's not too far behind, but there's definitely like a power differential. And that's a wall again. I'm just not much power. See, it's like, I think I can get you in the straights, but then you just keep pulling away from me, and I'm like, that. Obviously, the straights are not for me.
Yeah, that's the best part, because if I go up next to a Mustang, I can pair in the straights.
That's true. Mustangs and turning. Well,
and I got them in the
Mustangs.
corners. Yeah.
The new Mustangs are a lot better.
I was actually curious to inquire about the type of suspension that the new Mustangs have and if they left it the same.
Oh yeah, it's different suspension. It's completely new. It's independent rear suspension instead of the solid axle. It's almost like a truck, the solid axle.
Yeah, I knew that before it was practically the same as a truck in the turning capabilities.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, because the idea, if you think about it, if they're really fast, why not put a better suspension on them so they're better in the corners versus just dealing with them being bad in the corners.
Because instead of that, you have like wheel hop and everything, and the weird camber changes as the suspension moves up and down. It's not ideal, I think, for a car you're branding as like a pony car.
Yeah.
Or as a muscle car. I think for drag racing, the solid axle is very good.
Yeah, definitely. That's why they're so commonly used in a bunch of the TV, like the Street Outlaw TV shows.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's got a Chevy big block or a Ford big block, something.
Yeah, it's an American V8.
Exactly.
Either a Mustang, Camaro, something like that.
It's the best thing you can get stock off the line.
Yeah.
In a straight line.
See, I would like to come up there with something a little foreign, either European or Japanese, and be like, all right, guys, this is how we make power overseas. Well, I say we, like I'm actually foreign. I'm not. I'm 100% American.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that, because I think where I want to work, being I always see myself in a foreign car company.
Yeah.
Versus an American one, and I just see it hard for the American car companies to catch up to the technology that Audi or BMW is at.
And they are. I think a big part of it too is like the brand, what people think of the brand when they hear it. Because like if you say Chevy or something like that, they're probably going to think of a truck. If you say BMW or Mercedes or something like that, we think of luxury.
And whenever I think of that, I think it's going to be a nice car, it's going to be a sports car, and it's going to be practical.
Yeah,
is typically what I think about.
I think Chevy has a good thing going with the Corvette though. That's really good.
So fast.
The Camaro is really good, but just the brand as a whole, like if you just say, hey, that's a nice Chevy over there, some people are going to be like.
However, Chevy is jumping into the hot hatch world.
Are they?
They are.
Oh God.
With I want to say, two concepts have been put up. This Sonic, is it the Sonic? What's the one that's not the Sonic? Similar name.
Are you talking
Spark?
about Spark?
No, it's a Sonic. It's a Sonic hatch and the Cruise hatch. They've put two up, and I think
a Cruise hatch would be pretty awesome, actually.
I thought the Cruise hatch actually looked better than the Sonic hatch, but I think they're going with the Sonic.
They could just add some power and some suspension.
I think it looks better as a hatchback. I don't think the Sonic looks as good. But they are gonna jump into the hot hatch world. We'll see how that goes. So.
Actually, I also really like the Sonic. I can't remember if it was it or the Spark. I think it was the Sonic that has like the motorcycle dash almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so
cool. The Spark
cool.
is the one that's small and smart car looking.
Oh yeah, it's not like a rolling bubble, but
it's kind of like an ice cube.
it's a rolling ice cube actually.
Yeah.
That's a really good description. But yeah, like I want to really like it, but then the car as a whole, it doesn't do it for me.
I understand.
I love the motorcycle dash though. That is amazing.
Yeah. Everybody has to have their guilty pleasures.
Yeah. I would like I would probably like a Corvette, not a convertible.
Oh no.
Probably not a Z06, but the Grand Sport or whatever that they unveiled.
Is it Gran Turismo?
It's something like that. That it was at Geneva this week. That car is probably what I would want. It doesn't have as much power as the Z06. Like who needs however much? I think it's like 600 or something like that.
2.9 seconds. That's all you gotta know.
Like ridiculous. I'm sitting here like
it's a lot.
I just want to not borderline kill myself every time I go out and drive. I'm gonna switch cars.
I wish they had a type of racing, that stayed constant and wouldn't change over time. Like
Are you talking like
something like that in my mind. Whenever I think about it, somebody doesn't try to make it so much better that you're changing the style of racing. Like
Yeah.
whenever you're in, like whenever you think about Formula One, you think
Oh God.
carbon fiber, everything is so precise and everything is very regulated. I want something that's like, Fast and Furious. Everybody's on a budget, but everybody's, going out there and doing their idea of their, favorite car.
Yeah.
And, there are no regulations, but also in that same sense, you can't have anybody roll up in there a drag car, but they're also not going to be good around the corners. So, it's really hard because people are going to cheat the system and then get in there with the big bucks.
It's like 90% of racing is finding loopholes in the rules and what you can do to get ahead of your opponent.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to do one more track. We're going to do actually in a Porsche 911 Turbo. It's 1976, something like that.
Okay, Grandpa.
Grandpa, hold on. I think I'll see. I was getting to it. This one has, I think it was like 842 horsepower, but I'm not sure what it's set up as. So it could just be like a drift car, which I'm thinking it is. But it has 800 horsepower. Oh wow, this is actually undrivable. There we.
Too much horsepower?
I think it is actually. Like all of a sudden the power comes on and you're just sitting and braking.
Oh wow, this is a very sharp turn.
I am in the dirt, and that was actually in reverse. This car would kill me on the way, no doubt.
Oh yeah, they're too fast.
Like this. Oh my god. Oh.
Because those are basically race cars now.
Yeah, any like luxury, well, let's not say luxury, any like sports car that probably costs over like $100,000 is extremely fast. You can't use 100% of its capabilities on the street. There's just no way.
Unless you're a Chevy SS.
Unless you are a Chevy SS. Did Taylor tell you that we saw one in downtown Clemson?
I've seen cars that I think I would never see just in downtown.
It's so weird because you're
so weird.
Do we have that kind of car culture around here?
Yeah.
But well, there's a kid with the R8. I'm not sure if he's actually a car guy or if he was like, I made a little bit of money. Let me now get an exotic.
Yeah, because I think about that and thinking about having an R8. I can't see myself having one now, but growing up and liking cars, it was always the car that I wanted,
Yeah.
But now I have this sense of, not wanting to buy power. So, I would want to make it more practical because I just like, the engineering side of me wants to grab the best parts about every car and add it to one.
And just make them work.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really fun, actually.
So that's why I would want to have, probably get a V6 with VTEC and twin turbos. And then what else would I have? It has to be all-wheel drive because that's cool. And
it's like, I think that's one of the faster ways around the tracks is all-wheel drive because you have so much grip.
Oh yeah, and especially with the new technology that they have programming into those ECUs, and
oh my God.
you can change you could change the wheel speed around those corners, and that's just it's a huge that puts you seconds ahead.
And then the car itself will be a lot easier to drive too. But they have rear wheel steering that actually works because Nissan had it in the 90s. It was called Hikis or whatever.
Isn't who's doing that now? The rear wheel steering? I can't.
Porsche. I know Porsche is doing it for one. I'm pretty sure somebody else is doing it too.
Oh, I can't remember. I just saw it the other day that they were gonna start doing that. I want to say it was Chevy, but I can't remember.
This car is undrivable. But yeah, like the amount of technology they have nowadays is pretty insane, and I think the real challenge would be making all of it work together and work well together.
And it's also, money. People are going to want their patents to be paid for.
That's true.
Variable valve timing is patented by Honda.
I feel like it was at one point, and now it might not be.
Because, I don't ever see that idea in any other car brand, which it doesn't make sense why nobody else would do it with all the practical cars that they're trying to make nowadays, and nobody else had have it. That's what makes me think that it would be patented.
Well, other car makers, they do have it. Each system is a little bit different though.
Yeah.
Because I know Nissan has or had VVT, which is variable valve timing, but in the way the system works, it's different from Honda's. But I think it all did sort of start from Honda and become popular from Honda, and seeing like what they could actually do. Because I know BMW has Manos too, which it does something similar, but they're all just slightly different.
Yeah. Just enough to get around that patent.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Otherwise, we would see
paying royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can develop something like that, then that's pretty. I think Christian Koenigsegg, he actually got his he made a lot of his money from flex fuel technology and selling that.
Flex fuel's awesome.
It is.
I wish the trucks had flex fuel.
I feel like.
Did you watch the video on ethanol that Mighty Car Minds put out?
Oh yeah, E85 is amazing. I would love to get it set up in my car, but money.
Yeah, money. You know what I thought about? Because the old Fords, the not super old, but like 80s, with the dual fuel tank.
Oh yeah.
Dude, fill one fuel tank up with gas and fill the other one with ethanol.
If you could get the truck to work though, that wouldn't be half bad.
No, because then you just, you flip the reserve switch, whenever you want power, because you don't have to actually change the ECU other than, having it tuned.
Yeah, that
with the
be
flex
the
fuel
biggest
sensor.
challenge is getting it tuned.
Which that's another thing that I think's cool is, tuning
I think
the
this
car.
car was a drift car because there was no grip.
No grip?
It was like a lot of power.
I went around
And
the same turn twice, and I was in the sand. I thought you were gonna pass me.
I was in the sand a lot. Like I would go to stop and it just wouldn't stop, and I was like, well,
might as well be a new buggy.
yeah, like this isn't working. Wait, let me see the lap time. Oh, my best lap was 1 second faster, but my total was 6 seconds slower. So I had one good lap where I didn't end up in the sand as much, but consistency just wasn't there. Oh, but it looks so good. It looks so good. Those cars' prices are insane now, though.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly don't.
The thing is, price is never gonna get high. The price of that R32 right there.
I think give it time.
Give it time?
Yeah, because
Maybe the price of something that I build.
Oh, okay. if you want to start a whole new business like that, Shane's tuning. Actually, that's too boring. Shane's cars.
We'll get there. we'll come up with some. I'll hire, a business person to.
A marketing person?
Yeah, that one.
I was saying like a business, aka marketing.
Yes, aka marketing.
Well, we're going to try one more. I'm gonna find a car that I can drive. That's not a drift car.
Do you want me to pick a different car? Is the Volkswagen?
That's not what I'm saying.
Too much.
What I'm saying is, this is
an
the
Evo?
one.
Dude, there's an Evo in the parking lot it's red. It looks just like that.
Really?
Hendrix parking lot. If you're ever walking by there, for some reason, some teacher.
There's also a professor.
There's a
that
car
drives
seat in the
240.
back.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's their daily. It goes back to what you were saying. All right, kids,
Yeah. All right, yeah.
strap in.
Man, that's crazy. There's also that professor that drives a completely stock Nissan 240SX. It's an automatic and
Black?
everything. This one is red.
Red.
She's like a little old professor. I always see her in that building behind Shaletter that I think is like medical stuff. Oh god. Okay, that's a little bit. But
You're paying for my new bumper.
I mean, that splitter is pretty much done too. But yeah, like, I feel like there are a lot of old people that have cars and they don't realize like
What they have?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of unfortunate. But
Yes, indeed, it is.
but then I'm pretty sure there's some awesome old people, that are like, I'm pretty much Kenneth Block, and I go everywhere flat out.
Dude, I just pull away from you.
You really do. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
Got
Sam.
him. That was it. But yeah, I'm down so much. I think I have like maybe 300 in this one. It might be more like 290. Braking is hard.
Oh gosh.
Braking
Oh
is
gosh.
hard.
Oh, this is not good.
This
Is
is
the
car
same
that-
track?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's that turn. I haven't made that turn right once.
It's because it's really easy to overcook.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems
I can't
tighter.
see whenever you go up over
Yeah,
the hill.
you're just like looking at the sky and you're like, I think this is right.
I guess I should pay attention.
The track is going. Wow, I see. And I completely miss like a braking point, and then I'm just in the sand.
Yep. I can definitely understand that. So much concentration it takes for me to press this red trigger.
It's like
All-wheel drive, get me out of the sand.
I wish there'd be all. Well, okay. Going back to earlier, what I was talking about with the hot hatches, would you consider an Evo a hot hatch, or like the precursor to the hot hatches?
The Evo has the back that's like the Eclipse, right?
Yeah,
You're like kind of opens up and it's
it's
huge.
It's almost like a sedan body, but I think it has like wider fenders, and
See,
that might be it actually.
I wouldn't consider the Evo because, the hot hatch I consider anything that runs from the top of the car runs straight off the back, and that's the end of the
Oh
car.
yeah, that's true. These cars though, like.
Because the whole point of the hot hatch is, being fast and practical at the same time.
That's true.
It's
Although
the easiest
Subaru
way.
did make a hatchback.
Yeah,
I
for
should
the
probably call it.
WRX.
Yeah.
Yes. I think. Oh, I made it. I didn't understand that time. Oof.
It's really hard to tell. Like, you can't really see the pavement at that point.
Yes, it's tough. So, Subaru, I'm a big fan of Subaru, and whenever I think about myself in a car, for some reason I always think of it as a Subaru. I don't know why. I just feel like the bug-eyed WRX STI just fits me as a person. And then I just always go back to the Volkswagen.
See, I think the only problem with those cars is I took my hand off the controller for a second. The only problem with those cars is they don't really depreciate, which I mean, I guess if you have
They
one,
don't.
is good.
According to Kelly Blue Book, Subaru has the best resale value on all models of their car.
It's so weird to think about, because like even if you find like a junker on Craigslist that has like a crap ton of rust or whatever, questionable mods, they still want 20 grand for it.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's kind of ridiculous.
It is definitely ridiculous. I would agree with that 100%.
I think you do get a lot of car for it.
Mm-hmm.
They can be extremely quick.
Yes, they can.
This one isn't really. This Evo is quick in the corners, but in a straight line, like it kind of falls flat.
I think, am I even close anymore? No, I don't even.
I say I haven't run off the track in a while now. This one can turn. It's not just an outrageous amount of power. Like that Porsche was like 800 or something like that.
Oh, in the sand again.
pretty sure I would die if I had that much. I think for me, 450 in a light car, or let's say 350 in a car that weighs 2,800 pounds is probably enough for me. I don't want
whenever I finally ended up building this GTI, I'm not gonna go over 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for like the 330, 350. Horsepower is not a huge factor anymore because it's so light it can go super fast.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, people will like throw on like a bigger turbo, whatever, converts like 85 use, and they're looking at like 600 horsepower, and then this actually happened where I work with Motion Lab. We throw a bunch of mods at a customer's car, they bring it to us, or they drive and they're like, wow, this is actually like kind of terrifying
how fast
it is.
Yeah.
And we're like, 600 horsepower is a lot, man.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times we'll have two tunes on it, one like a low boost tune, and another high boost, and our customers say like they will usually keep it on low boost. Of course, there are some people who are like really brave and they're like high boost all the time.
Yes.
But I think probably 350 in a lightish car would be about the limit for me. Past that, I don't really care for it. There's always going to be somebody out there that has more power than you too. There's no winning that battle.
Indeed.
I think this will be the last race, and I think I'm going to go with the NSX.
Nice.
I really want one of these, but they're also a lot of money now. They're going up in value. I think I was actually looking on eBay either yesterday or the day before, and really clean ones were selling for like $85,000.
Oh my God.
Just crazy.
That's ridiculous.
But you can get like one with a good amount of miles, not perfect, for like 35 grand. That's not too bad for like what was like a supercar.
That's so much money.
It is a lot of money.
The new NSXs though, they look so good.
A lot of people don't like them, but I
think
like them.
it looks fantastic. It reminds me a lot of the Audi R8, but I think the NSX looks better.
Yeah.
I love
definitely.
the look of it. It looks great.
Although it isn't as like refined as the R8 was. I think now the R8's gotten like a little sharper, and it's just like it's more aggressive. Dude. Oh, but you have so much horsepower.
I was sleeping into the sand. You better watch out! I'm gonna hit you right into the back of you.
Yeah, I was like.
I was coming to school one day, and I had a girl almost hit me. I was stopped at a red light, and I don't know what she was thinking, but I caught out of a glimpse in my rear view this object coming super fast to me. I was like, there's no way this person's gonna have time to stop. Things up, and I'm so glad she didn't hit me.
I think that's probably like my biggest fear is like with building a car, you put that much work into it, you take it on the street
and wrecking it, or somebody else hits you.
That's the worst. Somebody else doing it.
You're smart enough to go to your insurance and say, "Is this car modified?" No.
You're like, no. Or I think there is like some type of insurance where you can like declare the value of your mods.
Yes, yeah, you can. But
I feel like you pay
at that point you're paying more. So the cheapest way to get out of it is not declare your mods, and then insurance only pays for stock, and what is stock? A lot less than what I have put into it.
Yeah, like 10 grand less, but
because I think about that too, and then I think about what would actually have to be replaced in a car accident that I could see myself getting into, and that would be at most. I'm thinking carbon fiber, hood would be replaced.
Which is a lot of money, though.
Yes, it is. But you know, I don't have to go back and retune my engine to replace a carbon fiber hood.
That's so true.
But you know, like if my turbo's getting messed up from a car accident, you know,
you have
the car is the last thing I'm worried about at this point.
Like at that point, you know, like you should probably be worried about you should probably go to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's so deep far into the car, like, I should be thinking about other things. And at that point, you know, that's like, you know, burning it to ashes, you know, just rebuild something.
Yeah,
just
start
go
over.
on to the new project. Or like in Mighty Car Mods, just make it 2.0.
Yeah, that's true. So wait, with the Gramps?
Super Gramps?
What was it? Rain that happened? Like
yes, they had a freak storm, but they were, you know, stripping the car.
Yeah.
And they were in the process of putting the ECUs in. They just got the ECUs and everything hooked up, but they didn't have, you know, a windshield. They didn't have windows on the side.
See, that's the problem.
Or something related to that, and they kept it, you know, in the shop, so it was locked up so somebody couldn't steal it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the weather was super nice before, and it's like, you know, just like South Carolina weather can be sometimes unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy storm, and
it was snowing today. Did you see that?
it was snowing today.
It was
I did
snowing.
see that.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow. What is that?
That's that South Carolina weather for you. But anyway, you know, it ended up raining, and you know, ECUs don't mix well with water, so.
Yeah, that sucked. I really felt bad for him.
Yeah, I felt bad for them too. I thought they were gonna, you know, scrap the entire project, but luckily they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, Haltech was understanding and, you know, just gave them new ones.
Because, like, honestly, if something like that happened, that's a big motivation killer.
Yes, it is.
I would probably just not even do anything for probably like 2 or 3 months, and then come back to him and be like,
yes,
I guess I'll fix it.
That's like, you know, that's the equivalent of like somebody dying in your family. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'd be like, why even bother?
Yes, I feel the same about that.
This NSX is amazing. I forgot how well it handles. We actually had a yellow NSX come to the shop, and it had like 30,000 original miles.
Yeah? Did the guy come back and say, and did you say, you know, I don't know what happened to your car, like, it's gone, somebody stole it.
I wish. Oh man, that car is so clean, it's so well done. And the thing is, the owner was like, I don't like to put that many miles on it. I like to keep it, you know, stock-ish. And then he wanted us to put a turbo kit on it, and we made like 402 wheels or something.
That's awesome.
We were like, you said you wanted to keep it like stock-ish, and then you
had us put 400 at the wheels?
and the guy's crazy. I want to see the rest of his garage though, because I'm sure it's pretty proper.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you, Shane, for coming.
Thank you.
It's been real.
It has been real. It was fun.
We had a pretty intense talk.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so as well.
But tune in next week, Thursday at 8:30, and we will be back.